Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love money, mine. Love money, mine. This is freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna and welcome to another episode of your Freedom Podcast. In this episode, I interview Jennifer Dragonette-Jacobsen. She is known as the perfectly imperfect entrepreneur and she's your friendly podcast junkie. She's a really inspiring woman and she inspires other women to lean into their authentic self, find their voice and share their magic by building a high impact tribe with podcasting. So she's got an awesome podcast herself called Feed Your Body with Love, and it's actually ranked number 52 in the top 100 self-love podcasts. She loves to call, the way she does the self-love is awesome. She talks about creating a tsunami of self-love, and I love that. And it really fits well with my whole love money mind that we have on the Freedom Podcast. I'm so excited to be bringing her onto today's show and I know you're going to love Jen. Hi Jen, I really appreciate you coming on the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. I am honored to be here.
And I'm going to be coming on your show very soon as well. So I know I've been doing a bit of stalking and I know that you're a real sort of self-love girl. And your podcast, it's Feed Your Body, isn't it? Is that right?
Feed Your Body with Love.
Yeah, with love, yeah. And so tell me, how did that all come about? Like, why did you decide to set up that podcast? Tell me the story.
So last February, pre everything going crazy, I decided that like one of the big things in the world is we don't love ourselves, right? So I'm like, my school told me you should be a ripple in this change. And I'm like, no, I can't be a ripple. Like that's way too small for me. So it's like, how can I create something bigger? It's like, oh, feed your body with love. And the tagline for it is a tsunami of self-love because again, the ripple wasn't big enough for me. And I had an idea to be a podcaster. That same day I recorded the first welcome intro. And then I went out and I found a guest and it just started that same day, no hesitations. And it's actually changed my life. And I think what my lifeline basically for what happened last year.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to share any of that. I know it's probably quite a vulnerable thing to share.
I'm an open book. You can ask any question.
It's funny though. Well, not your story, but there was I think it was on Instagram the other day because I ended up doing a reel around it. I think it might have been a quote I'd seen, and it basically said, "It's funny. Most people don't even like themselves. So why the hell do you care what anyone thinks of you or if anyone else likes you?" And I thought, isn't that spot on, is it? Because we're always really bothered. Well, I used to deal with that. Now I'm not so bothered. But a lot of people like they're worried about what other people think about them. But then it's like when you actually break that down, it's like most people do feel insecure about themselves, don't they? And we have to like you say, a tsunami of love. I love that. I love that phrase. So tell us about what happened last year.
Well, my goal, we'll just put it this way. My goal for 2020 was to stop being such a shut-in and actually to make friends in real life. That obviously didn't happen. But I got into this kind of dark, I don't want to call it depression because I wasn't labeled with depression. So I don't like using the term because there are a lot of people that struggle with that, but kind of in this dark place where I didn't really want to get up. I'm a fire wife, so having someone in public safety during last year meant that they were extra busy, that he was gone a lot more. I had to become really self-sufficient. My entire little tiny network that I had was taken away from me. And I was already kind of struggling with this lack of connection to self and to others.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to start a podcast, which I'm glad I did right before everything went crazy on us. But it seemed like it was divinely put into my space. So whether you believe in a higher source, God, whatever it is, this was like given to me. It was a gift that was given to me, because every time I needed something, a guest would show up on my podcast that would be exactly what I needed to hear that day. So much so that next month I'll be going to Costa Rica with one of those guests, because I've actually created friendships. And that was something that I had, Costa Rica. You can come with us. There's still room on our retreat. But there was this finally, I started feeling like I had friends and connection. And it was something like I had been working so hard to build my business and to hustle and to grind. And everybody to me was a number. And if they didn't want to buy from me, I'd just move on. Where podcasting, you actually got to know somebody. And I created this like beautiful network of actual humans that had names. And it is what kept me afloat last year, when I started just wanting to shut down and be like, okay, I'm done with everything. I'm just going to hide in a dark room and never come out again. So long story short, that's why I say podcasting really changed my life and basically saved my life, because I was to that point of like, oh, maybe I should just go back to the corporate world, which was soul sucking to me. And podcasting really allowed me to see the light of the actual human connections, which is something we forget when we're starting to do strategy to make money.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because everyone had the whole craze with the Clubhouse app. And I've kind of been on there and had some really good connections, and then interviewed them on my podcast. And I feel like you're saying, I've got like, it's like real genuine connections, and it's just great because it's like from people all over the globe, that I would never have met before. And either that was the podcast or it was the Clubhouse. You know what I mean? I'm not kind of, I think it's just if you are kind of network or open to meeting people from all walks of life, or just people with, especially on podcasts as well, you usually share stories, don't you? There's a sort of synergy a little bit between mine and yours. So it's probably like similar. There's been a similarity in the kind of uniqueness of the different individual people that we meet. Because my podcast started in July last year. So I'm coming up to the 52nd episode now. And I'm going to do a special episode for that. But it's lovely, isn't it? Like meeting people. Because when you're interviewing someone, you can actually really, really get to know them. I'm just going to pause, got a bit of background noise with children. 2 seconds. So I'll let my VA edit this. Rose, just edit this a bit. Yeah. Bye. My son's friend just leaving really, really noisily. So yeah, Rose, just edit this bit. So yeah, I just think interviewing people can really kind of get those genuine connections, and just really, like you say, build. I haven't been invited to Costa Rica though. I need that one. But I definitely feel like I've met friends, So we've not had to go back to the corporate world. That's a massive plus, isn't it?
It is. And I think, well, I shouldn't say think. Podcasting is the reason why I haven't dipped my toe back in. It's because like I said, it's connections, and it's a great way. I mean, like your podcast is about self-love, connecting, money, all the things. It's a great way to make that connection, but it's also been what made my business profit. And it's funny you bring up Clubhouse, because Clubhouse is the reason that I shifted my entire business over to helping people in the way that I'm helping them now.
Right.
So,
okay.
And it's all with those connections. It's talking to humans, not just selling to humans. Like let's connect.
So tell us all about that. What is your business then? Share with us what you're doing. So you have not had. I love it when I hear stories of not having to go back to the corporate world, because I left the corporate world back in 2012, and I just think it's great to kind of hear of other women that are creating their own like dream lifestyle, really, around what they want to be doing. So tell us all about that. Tell us about the business part of it.
Well, for a while, you would have known me as the pivoting queen, because there's not a entrepreneur outlet that I haven't tried on yet. But in January, because of Clubhouse, I ended up in a lot of rooms and ended up supporting a lot of people starting their podcasts or learning how to be a profitable guest expert, because there's a way that I can come on to shows and I can repel people like crazy. And there's a way to connect with people, get people into your space, actually make connection. And it's a skill that can be learned. It's not something that you either have or don't have. So somebody was like, why aren't you teaching this? Why is this not your business? You are so fired up. You are so supportive for it. So I started helping people launch podcasts, and the people that didn't want to host a podcast, because you know that there's a lot that goes along with hosting a podcast, that just wanted to use podcasting as a guest, being a guest expert, to grow their business and create those connections. And for me, I love connecting, but I also, again, love money. So it was this beautiful blend of having both, where I could support people profit and grow in their business and connect with other humans without having to go out and be like, here's my thing, buy 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 my thing. Because that just repels people from you. We're all sick of hearing all those things. So it just turned into this whole thing. And the part of podcasting that a lot of people don't talk about is the confidence you get in yourself and in your message, and the authority it brings to say like, hey, I've been on this podcast, or hey, I own this podcast. My podcast ranks this. There's like this whole different level of authority, and you're building on a platform that my most listened to episode is from March of last year. It's still content that's good this much further forward.
Exactly.
So it was an untapped thing. And I had this little like nugget of gift of like, let's find your voice. Let's find your confidence. Let's find a way to share it. Which in a way that serves you.
Women especially. I think there's men as well, not to just be focused on women, but I definitely think women do need that confidence boost a little bit, especially when they want to kind of push themselves out as a sort of expert in their niche or whatever. So that's really great what you're doing. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. And I love podcasting and I love connecting, and it's fun. For the first time, it's fun.
Exactly. I always think, I feel like I'm just in like a cafe or a bar chatting to somebody. In some respect, like, I think it's like the connection that I have. I don't know, with like whoever I'm talking to. I don't feel like, maybe I just can't shut up. Maybe that's just a thing. So would you then make that statement that podcasting saved your life? Because it's had a huge impact, hasn't it? If with last year being such a tough year, and also then you not going back to your corporate job.
It really saved my life on many levels, because that I'm going to say the biggest part is the lack of confidence I had didn't allow me to show up in any area of my life, not just in my business. But it had gotten to a certain point where it was like, am I even good enough to go back to the corporate world where I was management and I was able to do all the things?
Yeah.
But I got to that point that it was like, well, if I failed at this, maybe I'll fail going back. So I started like really curling in. And then a podcast came around and it was like, whoa, I am an authority. I am an expert. I am able to share my space with people that do the same thing as me, and it's okay. And that was a huge confidence boost to be able and to make those connections. So sharing my space, getting confident, it's just amazing.
I love it.
It did change my life.
Because you've gone through all of that, so now you know exactly what people need. And like you say, it comes from that good place of having gone. I think when you've gone through kind of like a journey, it's easy to share it, isn't it? It comes more natural rather than what you're saying about the sell aspect to it. So yeah. I love that. It's really, really cool. Brilliant. Would you, what's happening right now in your business? Because I know you have got you were ranked in a really low spot for your podcast, weren't you?
Yeah, so last year we ranked number 52 in the top 100 self-love podcasts to listen to in 2020. So that was like a huge honor, because we're a small podcast. It's just me. I don't have anybody even editing him. It's all me. And to be able to get that ranking and to have it published out there, and like, holy smokes, I'm in the top 100 self-love podcasts. Like, that was amazing. Like, even if I would have been 100 on that list, I would have been excited, but I ranked 52. So I was like, yes.
Really good. Love it.
And that was a big confidence. Again, it was all about building self-trust and confidence. You know, it's built my business, it's supported my business, but that confidence in myself and the authority that I feel in my niche and how I can support people has just changed so much.
Love it.
Because of my podcast.
Really, really good. And it's just so lovely because you can then it's just going to be contagious, so you can help other people. I love that. Also, really, really good. So anyone listening to this because I think a lot of people have gone through a period of time where they felt like that, and this last 18 months has been tough for a lot of people. If you feel like, it's kind of like if you've got an interest and you want to talk on that interest, or you've got an expertise, or you want to just start interviewing people and you really want to improve your confidence, you could start getting into podcasting and then reach out to you. What is the best way for anyone listening to this to reach out to you and get all that info?
I'm everywhere. So the easiest way is just jdragonette.com, because that's kind of like my main hub and makes it really easy. I'm also the Perfectly Imperfect Entrepreneur. That's like the other side, or the Feed Your Body with Love. Like, there's a lot of ways, but everything's on jdragonette.com.
So we'll put all the links and in the comments section in the show notes. So anybody listening to this on YouTube or iTunes, you'll be able to get all that info. It's been great to have you on the show. Would you answer my question? Because I always ask everybody at the end of the interview, what does freedom mean to you? So what does freedom mean to you, Jen?
So freedom to me is, because, we're going to go totally personal and, all about self, right? Freedom to me is, it's really this ability to live my life on a fire wife schedule. And for people that don't know fire wife schedule, it means that you never know when they're going to be home. They do have a quote unquote scheduled shift, but that can change throughout different seasons and things that come up in the world. And that freedom is really to have the financial freedom in my business, by creating my own business, by creating these connections and this network through the way that I love to build. And having that time that when he's home, I get to be just a fire wife. I don't have to be in my business all the time. So there's this, for me, freedom is having that ability to shift with his schedule, have the finances to give back to the community. Because my overall goal is to be able to have a horse rescue. And I need the financial freedom of being able to live his schedule and pay for my horses.
Yeah, I love it. Can you ride horses? Can you?
Yeah. So I lease a horse right now, but my goal someday is to rescue them and have a place where I can bring horses in to rehab them and create equine therapy for all of us two-leggers too.
Yeah. In fact, I met somebody recently who was similar into horses, and they were doing retreats with the horses for healing. And that was all new to me. It sounded really interesting. I loved it. I think it's great when you can create something where you meet great people. It's online, so it's flexible. It doesn't feel like, you say, where you're forcing an issue or it's a win-lose situation. You just want it to be like, I hear people say ease and flow, and it is like that, isn't it? It's like just it naturally connect with someone where you're helping someone, you get paid for it, and then you can go off and do the things that you want to love, like your horse. What was it? Not retreat. I was going to say horse retreat then. The horse. What was it? Now, what was it?
My rescue. Because I want to rescue the horses.
But yeah, I think it's awesome. You're really inspiring listening to that story that's all happened in the last year then, or through COVID.
Yeah.
So thank you for helping all those people with their confidence and helping them to find their voice in the world, because I think it's empowering to other women to hear that. So anyone listening to this, reach out to Jen if you want to increase your confidence, or you just want to connect and say hi. I'm sure she will be able to help you. And thank you ever so much, Jen, for coming on the show. It's been great to have you and meet you and connect with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great stuff. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And if you want to get more freedom in your life, then come and join Your Freedom Project Facebook group, which the link is below in the comments section. And I am giving you a copy of my visualization manifesting book. So manifest more freedom in your life and live the life of your dreams.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.